I'm Professor Pi. Welcome to my daily mathematical adventures. Hey, don't forget me. I'm Cowboy Rufus. I'm your favorite student. Trigonometric functions. Algebra 2, IF, A2, G, SRT, a little bit of geometry because you already had some trig functions, but we'll go way past what we had in geometry. And the national standards are 2, 3, and 6. It says I can use trigonometry to find the measures of the sides of right triangles. I've got 3 videos there. I should have my video up there posted shortly. You have 2 ways to remember the trig functions. This is Chief Sakatoa. He's a really big deal here around Hayti. He's a good-looking Indian. Happens to be our mascot. How's he spell his name? Sohcahtoa. Here's the other way you might learn it. Some outhouses can always hide their old age. Sohcahtoa. And here I have sine is opposite of hypotenuse, OH, SOH. Sine is O over H. And the cosecant, it's cofunction. Sine goes with cosecant. And so 1 over sine is equal to cosecant. Also, that would be H over O. I never go get the cofunctions. I get sine and flip it upside down, and I get cosecant. The next line, we have cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. It's a ratio, adjacent over hypotenuse, AH, CAH. Secant is the cofunction of cosine, so it is 1 over cosine, or it's H over A. AH flipped upside down. This is tangent. Tangent, as you remember, is opposite over adjacent, TOA. TOA. Tangent is also sine over cosine. Cotangent is 1 over tangent, or A over O. Now, for those of you who doubt that it's sine over cosine, what is sine? Sine is O over H, right? And cosine is A over H. And when you invert this second one, flip it, and multiply, you get OH over AH and the H's, of course, cancel out. So we'll delete them. What do you get? You still get tangent equal O over A. When we're talking about word type problems in the real world, we have a horizontal and we have an angle of elevation and angle of depression. Angle of depression is when you're balanced with the horizon and you're looking down at something from the airplane. The angle of elevation from this fisherman is straight across his eye level, and he's looking up at the airplane. Those of you who remember anything about geometry know that this angle and this angle are AIA angles. So the angle of elevation and angle of depression are the same thing. Now let's try something. If S is 42 degrees, if S is 42 degrees, so S is 42 degrees, and ST equal 8, ST equal 8. We want to find RS. Now go back up to the drawing because we need some of these in words like opposite, hypotenuse. S is 42. ST is the hypotenuse. ST is the hypotenuse. And RS is adjacent. We need to find a trig function that has AH. We need to find a trig function that has AH because we don't know nothing about opposite. And that trig function, of course, would be cosine. Cosine of 42 equal RS is 8 divided by hypotenuse. Now, we're going to move that to multiply both sides by h. We get h times cosine 42 equal 8. So now we're going to divide both sides by cosine. So h equal 8 divided by cosine 42. Once I have the algebra in this form, now I'm going to go get the scientific calculator. I want to find out what the cosine of 42 is. You go 42 cosine is 0.743. 0.743. So h is equal to 6 divided by 0.743. 6 divided by 0.743. Got to get in the calculator right. 6 divided by 0.743 equals 8.7. We'll just round it up. That'll be 8.7. It's got more numbers, but we're going to stop with sides of a triangle as 1 decimal point. It has many more numbers. As you can see, it has a whole bunch of numbers. We're going to round it. We're going to leave it alone. 8.7. Now, the next one says T is 55 and RT, which is adjacent, is 5. So we're going to do the same thing. Eventually down here, we're going to get well, let me try it. It's the same exact one. Let's try one that's different with sine. If S is 27 and TR, there we go, there's an opposite. TR is 7. So let's do that one. S is 27. And opposite is 7. And they want me to find TS. They want me to find hypotenuse. I have no idea where the hypotenuse. It's TS, but we don't know how much. So now we want sine of 27 is equal to 7 divided by h. Multiply both sides by h and you get h times sine of 27. Make that 27, got to write it correctly. equals 7. So now we divide by the sine of 27, we get h equals 7 divided by the sine of 27. Now I go to the calculator. I set it up in algebra first, then I go to the calculator. And the sine of 27, 27 sine is equal to 0.121. Divided into 7. 7 divided by 0.121. $57.8. H equal 57.8. Now the question is, how do you know which one to use? When they give you O and you want to find A, you use tangent because there's no hypotenuse in there. If they give you the hypotenuse and want you to find the adjacent, you'd use cosine. If they give you the opposite and ask you to find hypotenuse, you would use sine. Thanks for watching another Professor Pi video. Yeah, y'all come back tomorrow. Cowboy Rufus and Professor Pi will teach you something new.